On top of that, there's 12 other types of places inside Amazon that Amazon can lose your money.
I'm Bryce Gracie, host of the ZEE e-commerce podcast, and this podcast is dedicated to boosting your trajectory towards international success through connecting you with e-commerce and Amazon experts, all with something different to offer.
Today I spoke with John Cavendish from Seller Candy, and we spoke about everything to do with ASIN suspension, revenue recovery from Amazon, full-scale customer support, and that service that is provided by Seller Candy, as well as a little bit of South African slang. Listen in for more. Welcome back to the ZEE e-commerce podcast, our first podcast of 2023, and we are starting on the front foot, having quite the esteemed guest with us today. We are talking everything Amazon seller support, and no better guest to have with us than an Amazon FBA expert himself, with experience founding and managing multiple Amazon service-related businesses, a background in engineering, which naturally, I guess, makes him a good problem solver, host of the Amazon Strategist Show, and CEO of Seller Candy. Welcome, John Cavendish. How is 2023 treating you?
Hello, Bryce. So I don't know when this is going out, but for me, it's the 9th of January now. So 1 week into 2023. And so far, best year yet.
I mean, if it's best year yet after 9 days, it must have been a tremendous start.
None of the major catastrophes have happened yet. Everything seems to be going in the right direction. So, every day moving forward is a good day.
Holding thumbs for sure. Holding thumbs. But
holding thumbs.
Let's
is that South African? Is that a South African thing? Holding thumbs?
Yes, I've
never heard that before.
General thing.
Like holding thumbs like that?
Yeah, it's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like good luck, I guess.
Oh, I've never heard that. I've heard about something about a thumb, but in England, when you say something about a thumb, it's not a nice expression of what to do with your thumb. So I've never heard that before.
Great, I didn't even realize that. You're probably right. South Africans love to have a bit of slang every day that we just assume is normal English, I guess.
Well, same in England. Tickety-boo.
Yeah. Well, to start off, John, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, where you come from, and then a little bit about Seller Candy?
Awesome, sure. So, I'm John. As I sound, I'm from England originally. But I've been outside of the country for the last 7 years. So I was traveling for a bit as I started an Amazon business back in 2015. And then I settled down in Vietnam, where I've been as kind of my main base for the last 7 years. Met some amazing people, joined an amazing community. And that's really how I ended up here. Just love it here.
Okay, fantastic. And Seller Candy, how did that start?
Yeah, so I was back in the day, I started at Amazon in 2015 when everyone said, it's too late to start an Amazon business, which is people have been saying since ASM2. They were like, amazing selling machine back in the day. Once you passed the first one, it was too late. I went to amazing selling machine 4, and now they're on something like 14, are they? Somewhere between 12 and 14. It's crazy. So the Amazon course that was rolling forward all the time. So I did that, made a decent amount of money in the first couple of years. We did about 2 million in revenue by the second year. And after 3 years of that, I was like, there must be more than selling generic products at the time on Amazon. There wasn't anything the next level. I wanted to add more value. I wanted to connect with more people. So I did a lot of Tony Robbins, did a lot of personal development, and decided I wanted to start an Amazon agency. I wanted to help people make more money on Amazon. So over the next 18 months to 2 years, I had about 500 sales conversations with business owners and brand owners and startups and everything like that. And we did well. We launched a 7-figure agency business. But very quickly, I realized that I wanted to be able to help everyone, and not everyone can be helped to be successful on Amazon if they have a product that's not designed for the Amazon platform and the Amazon ecosystem. But everyone that's selling on Amazon hates dealing with seller support. They hate the actual Amazon part of it because it's the most frustrating part. It's like banging your head against your computer screen for half the day. So I changed the business completely, sold all my clients, moved them over to good agencies, and we focused on seller candy. And what we do is very specifically just deal with the seller support headache, so that our clients don't have to. So we have expert outcome-driven assistants we have a portal, our clients log in, tell you what they want to happen, and our assistant takes ownership. So whether it's like creating listings or product suspensions or reimbursements or basically anything that you can log into seller support to do, we can just take ownership, call them, create flat files, do all the technical problem solving so that, our clients don't need to do any of the backwards and forwards rubbish with Amazon.
Here's a question. It's probably a straightforward answer, but why wouldn't I use Amazon Seller Central Support just direct through Amazon?
I mean, you will do. If you're a seller, you're already using it. And that's when you realize why Seller Candy is such an amazing service. Because, what we want to do is we want to make it a pleasurable experience and basically remove any of that time suck. Because, many of our users are spending, 1 to 3 hours a day dealing with random stuff on seller support before working with us, and then it takes them 5 minutes. So we're just really an amazing time saver, and our team of experts. So they can go into the account, go, okay, these are your issues. If you solve these are all the technical things that might be holding you back on your Amazon account right now.
I mean, I 100% knew what the answer was going to be, but I feel like the audience needed to hear it more than I did.
Thank you for asking.
But in 2022, it was quite an interesting year. What was probably the most common issue that you guys saw that your customers were coming to you to solve, to fix?
Yeah, so actually I just had the data. We were looking at it earlier today. And what was really interesting is that the most common thing we solved was just these everyday account issues that drive people crazy. So, updating listings, fixing backend information, sorting out the stuff that they update on the backend that doesn't propagate and update on the front end of Amazon. That was like over 60-something% of our current cases last year. Because we do a lot of volume, it just means that if you might have one of those every few days, so you do a lot of it. Then we have like product suspensions, which are quite high, but they're hopefully a lot less often, a lot less regular. And then reimbursements and a selection of other things. But really, it's the everyday like ops stuff which drives people crazy.
And what's your favorite problem to solve?
Favorite? I mean, personally, I like it when we really help someone and save their business. So I would say like ASIN suspensions or something like that. It's always nice when someone's, we can really help them out in their business. But I like the fact that we're there every day, providing a helpful, kind communication and building a relationship with them rather than just churning through the tickets like seller support do. Our agents want to build a relationship and actually feel like a little bit of your team.
No, exactly. And would a customer who's using Seller Candy, if they have one problem today and they get someone to help them through Seller Candy, and then they have another problem in 3 or 4 days, would the same person be assisting them?
Yes. So most of the time. So the way we work is, the really cool thing is, because we're kind of like a different angle on virtual assistants is the actual business model. So rather than hiring an assistant for, $500 to $1,000 a month, we work with Seller Candy, a little bit less than that, around $500 a month. And we provide you like an expert outcome-driven assistant who's available immediately. So like no training, no spin-up time, no HR. We're just on tap. So we have a portal system. You log in like a project management tool. You log in what you want to happen, super simple drop-down menu, and then our team takes care of it. You will have an assigned agent. But the cool thing about the system is if they're sick or on holiday or if something happens in the family, you have backup immediately. Our team just reroutes your ticket to another person in the same team who knows your account, just isn't your everyday assistant. So we always have redundancy and they already know your account because it's part of the same group. We've got, say, 7 or 8 different groups. And inside those groups, we have 5 to 6 agents. And inside those agents, they all know each other's accounts.
I was about to say that sounds like the ideal scenario, because if I just think back to the times I've called any customer support for whatever, whether it be a phone service, a contract, a return of goods, it's always frustrating when you open a ticket and then maybe a week or 2 weeks later you have a slightly different problem and you get dealt with the same as if you'd never spoken to them before. There's no history. There's no that feel of personalization. Whereas from what I understand, it's almost like people are going through the lifetime of certain sellers' accounts when they join Seller Candy, because it's almost it's a timeline that you can see. It's not going to be starting from the beginning every single time you contact Seller Candy, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't want to drive you crazy. We want to make the nice, most human approach to the business.
Yeah, and I guess the question that I have on that, like a human approach, what are your thoughts on AI coming into it with such a heavy presence in 2022? Going into 2023, that AI-driven customer service, personalization, customization.
It's super cool. I mean, if you played with Chat GPT, and a lot of my friends are using it to create all sorts of really cool stuff. I mean, really cool stuff as in one of my friends who's visiting at the moment, he uses, he's not a coder at all, knows nothing about coding, same as me. But he's creating Python scripts to scrape data and use certain things. And he needs to fix a script. And before, he had a freelance coder who builds things for him. And then if he needs an update, he has to send it back to them. Now, with Chat GPT, he can put the script the coder wrote him into it and say, I want to make this change. And it can successfully change the script. So it can code, which is crazy. It can actually write the original code as well, but he couldn't make it work. I'm sure somebody who's semi-competent could look through the code and say where the errors were. But really interesting, not just writing stuff, but actually coding, art, content creation. It's super interesting and super crazy how far that's going to come this year with the next generation. Because even this generation, you can basically just tell it you want to write 1,000 articles about Amazon if you wanted to. And it could write 1,000 perfectly competent sounding articles about Amazon, which is insane. Not going to replace us yet, but I can see how I'm sure Amazon's working on that in the future.
But if anything, I'm pretty sure you guys can use it to your advantage. Automating the more menial tasks that you guys may be having internally. So for me, I think it's going to be an enhancement, not a replacement of all current services and all current work. It was completely off topic, but I was just curious.
No, I love it. And efficiency for sure. If time is wasted in writing emails, if you can create a custom bot that plugs into AI that can just, you're right, I want it to say these 3 things, and it writes a perfectly worded, lovely email to someone. It's great, doesn't it? Because emails take time to write. So if it could just churn out something that sounds good, just want to say these things, that'd be perfect.
Okay. So moving back a little bit to the your favorite problem to fix, which is saving businesses, which comes along with ASIN suspensions and account suspensions. How could a seller prevent any form of suspension? Excuse me, whether it is from ASIN or account level, almost to prevent them from happening or to remain pre-compliant, whatever the word may be, but stopping them from happening before they come through the hassle of having lost sales.
Yeah. So it depends, really. There's a couple of reasons. If they're a reseller or an ongoing seller, one cool thing they can do is come work with someone like us. When we onboard our clients, we look through their account and look for any issues. So any potential things that might get flagged in the future, so that we create this onboarding account health check, get on a call and walk them through step by step. This is what's going on in your account. And this is things that you should watch out for. And this is what we can change to make less chance you're going to have an issue coming forward. The second thing, though, is if Amazon just generates a bot. If Amazon's starts a new bot, with this bot, you get taken down because it highlights a certain keyword in your listing that wasn't an issue before, but is now an issue, which Amazon does all the time. The most famous one being their pesticides issue they had for several years now, and it's still a problem. If it says antibacterial, then you'll get taken down for pesticides. Then you can't do anything about that. You just need to have someone on speed dial like us or someone else competent who can just fix it immediately. That they've seen it before, they know the workaround, it gets done in a day, as opposed to raising a case to start with support and getting sent around the houses, English slang, for a while, until they finally figure it out.
Okay, so you guys only don't step in when there are already red flags, but if there's an orange flag, you guys would be able to spot it and prevent it before it happens.
Sometimes it depends on the issue. But we will always do our best. We can't say we'll fix everything every time, but our success rate's like 95%. And we're there to be an ongoing support. The way the service is priced at $597 a month starting, it's all about being the ongoing support. And then if any of this stuff comes up, we'll fix it immediately for you, as well as doing all the everyday stuff and operations and everything like that.
Okay, so then what is what is MVP1, I want to say, for next of launch? What's new for Seller Candy coming up?
Well, we've got two things, actually. So one is we realized that not everyone's ready for Seller Candy yet. Unless you're doing more than $20,000 a month, you're not ready to buy our service. So we wanted a way of helping everyone in the community, everyone in the industry. So my thought process was, well, we have this expert team. They have some extra capacity. They have extra capacity. Can't we get them to help the industry just to give back? So we're launching a service which actually soft launched a couple of weeks ago called Ask Seller Candy. So rather than us fixing things for you, you can come and ask us a question. One of our agents who knows how to fix it will get back to you saying, okay, that's the question. This is what you do. Bam, 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 bam. This is step by step how you'd fix it. And then you can go away and do it yourself, or you can hire us to fix it should you want to. And the way we're doing that to kind of obviously it's a lead generation tactic as well as a way to give back, but we're really giving back. We're literally telling you how to fix it. We're going to offer it for free to start with, I think for the next 6 months, just to see what the uptake is. So if anyone wants to check it out, it's sellercandy.com/ask, ASK. And you can sign up for the beta. You get 6 months for free, no credit card, and ask us a question, put us to the test. So that's...
How complicated can that question be?
Complicated as you want. As long as the question, it goes through it in the portal, but it has to be a one-time question. So it can't be a continuous forward and back conversation, because that's what sucks a lot of time with the team. As long as it's asked fully, we'll give you a long, complicated answer. We'll tell you exactly how to fix that thing.
Okay, so it has to be very specific, very detailed.
Otherwise we'll have to either ask you for clarification or just give you a generic answer. The more specific you can be in the question, the more specific answer you'll get of exactly how to solve this. Like, this ASIN has this problem, what do I do with it? Or Amazon's not giving me my money back for this, what do I do about it? And we'll figure it out for you.
Okay, that's actually fantastic. And to be honest, I can see our customer base really benefiting from that. So that's definitely something we can chat about offline. But that's pretty cool. And it's almost, it's your way of, as you said, giving back. But it's also an education form where you're giving without having to receive all the time. And I think, statistics show that people are more likely to want to be associated or work with someone that just helps out the goodness of their heart and doesn't look for anything in return. Naturally, lead generation comes from that 99% of the time, but it is just having to help, and maybe a very small question that someone doesn't need to sign up for your service. And you can help them with that. But if it is a more complicated question, you're giving them the opportunity to do it for themselves, a DIY service, but then also an opportunity to see the value in Seller Candy and why you guys exist and why it's best to work with you and not try and do things yourself or go through Amazon seller support themselves.
Oh, thanks, Price. I'm sold. I'll take one.
So I've heard that the topic of revenue recovery is quite an interesting one within Seller Candy. Would you be able to explain why revenue recovery is important? I mean, as a layman, it's quite obvious, but what are the forms of revenue recovery and how you assist with that?
Yeah, so most sellers are, owed money by Amazon. So Amazon has, auto reimbursement. So if you're a seller, you'll see emails from Amazon. Oh, we returned this much to your account. Oh, we refunded you this much. But there's usually gaps in that. So the stuff you see coming back into your account is, oh, they refunded you because a customer returned a product or it bounced off their delivery address. So they returned it back to your inventory, or they refunded you for the cost of the product. That could be one thing. But there will be some missing in that. Not a huge amount, but some missing. On top of that, there's 12 other types of places inside Amazon that Amazon can lose your money. So that can be in fulfillment center transfers. So, when they're moving it from one fulfillment center to the other, literally falls off the back of a truck somewhere or just disappears on the way. It can be in reconciliation. So this much inventory arrived, this much was sold, but we're at zero. So where's the other bit? Where's the rest of the inventory gone? And that can be surprisingly large over the course of months or years or hundreds or thousands of products in your business. And then all these different types. But what we say is it adds up usually to about 1% of your revenue per month. And then if you go back for the last 18 months, that's a significant amount of revenue depending on how much revenue you're doing.
100%.
So, and it's your money. And it's your money that you will get back if they've lost inventory at full retail for your product, as if you'd sold it. So it's real profits back into the business. So it's money that you should definitely, if you see the opportunity, just go and collect it. And the really cool thing about the service from us is that we just charge you for money that we recover. So if we help you get something back, it's a fee for that, but we just charge you a percentage of the money we got back. So you still make your profit and your and everything else. We just take 25%.
Would it be fair to say that a lot of sellers are unaware that they're able to get this money back?
Oh, 100%. Or they think they can do it themselves, which is true. You can do it yourself, but you should have someone else audit it. Because if it's a no-win, no-fee type thing, then it's just free money if someone else finds it. But yeah, I mean, lots of people aren't aware that they just need to be running this as just a standard process in their business.
And if you're I'm not going to do the maths, but if you're doing over $1 million in revenue a year, that's a decent amount of cash that's going down the drain if you're not taking the effort to get it back.
Yeah, 10 grand, 10, 15 grand. So one of my friends came over and, cause he was about 30 million a year and was saying, okay, I've never done this before. Do you think you get any money back for me? And I was like, all right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can. And we got him $130,000 back from Amazon in about 3 weeks, which was crazy. I didn't expect it to be so high, but Amazon, that's just money that should have been in his bank account, which is crazy.
So that's a little bonus check.
Yeah, I mean, literally a bonus check, and you can pay for one of his team's salary for a year.
Wow, no, that's insane. That's insane, and it baffles me how. Amazon are really a $1 billion company, but they are able to take money from sellers so easily, and sellers just sometimes let it happen. So I guess it's just about being cognizant of your finances and what you can and what you can't get back. And I guess if you want to win at this Amazon game, you need to be aware of all the loopholes, aware of all the missed expenditure, the way to get your profits back in order to maximize profitability for your business.
100%. And this isn't even a loophole. This is Amazon's loophole because it's money that you should be in your bank account. You're not doing anything sketchy here. You're just asking for the money back, which is not accounted for in your books when you rationalize everything. And it's really all we're doing is we're rationalizing your books for what arrived, what should have sold, and then all these other types of reimbursements and things which Amazon may be missing, including if Amazon's ever miscategorized your product as too large, got your dimensions wrong, and then charge you too much or too little. Well, too little, always too much. Too much for your fulfillment.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's really an eye-opener for me. But going into a new year, I'm not going to say new year, new me, but if you had to give Amazon sellers who are listening to this one sentence to focus on for 2023, what would it be?
It would be this. Well, I mean, as we all know, the world is contracting now, and things are getting a little bit interesting. So all these big tech companies and all companies are tightening up because we've all grown too fat and too easy. When things were growing, everyone was expanding continuously. So it's all about the metrics. Have a plan and metrics. So I would say, if you've got a small or growing business, anything from 10K a month up to 2 million a month, even more important when you're on higher numbers. Make sure you're super tight on your metrics. Your real numbers. So how much is it really costing you? What's your cost of goods? What are your fees? What's your ACOS? What's your cash flow? And then really project out the cash flow, because the majority of businesses that struggle is because they have a small blip or some change in sales They don't get the cash they expected to have, and then they run out of cash. They don't usually have issues. Well, they can have issues with products and everything else, but cash is the king. You want to get cash into your bank account and make sure that you're not going to run out of cash, which sucks. Like, I got a $2 million business, and how much money you got in the bank? Negative 20 grand. Oh, great. Where are the $2 million? Like, it's in inventory, it's in Amazon, it's all these other places, but not with us.
Yeah, focusing on those margins.
Yeah.
Cool. John, I'm hoping and I'm expecting that many people will be interested in hearing a little bit more about Seller Candy from the man himself. But if our listeners want to find you off of this podcast online elsewhere, where's the best place for them to reach out?
Cool. So, if you want to reach out to me directly, I'm always happy to chat to people. It's john@sellercandy.com. If you're interested in the service and want to talk to one of our business development team, who are awesome people who can actually help you with your technical stuff and then get you on board, if you think it's a good solution for you, you just go onto our website, sellercandy.com, book a consultation or get a quote, and you can book in a call with us, or you can just sign up on the website. And check us out on LinkedIn. I do quite a bit on LinkedIn.
And don't forget, what's it? www.sellercandy.com/ask.
Yeah, ask, ASK. Yeah, the accents is a problem, especially in the Philippines, because ask always comes out as ass. So we were calling it Ask Candy, which did not sound good if we got a mixture of accents, saying it. Yeah.
John, it was an absolute pleasure having you on. I think it's very simple, the value that Seller Candy brings. I think as a seller, you should not try and fight with Amazon and support yourself. Rather get someone else do that for you, or just hire an expert such as Seller Candy to really get the elbows dirty and do the hard work. And naturally, then you need to be thinking as a seller about your bottom line. You need to be thinking about where your costs are coming from, which costs you can get back, what profits you need to get into your business. That should have been there in the first place. And I guess you guys do a lot of that thinking for the seller, which is brilliant. But it was an absolute pleasure to have you on, and looking forward to hopefully having you on again in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bryce. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for watching the Easy E-commerce podcast. Click here for more episodes and follow us on our socials link below. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe.